I'm halfway through mowing when a tow truck creeps into our cul-de-sac like it knows a secret amber lights bouncing off the mailboxes, and my old pickup shining with fresh tags that I paid on time. And for 1 second, I think the universe finally picked a side. Then I see the clipboard, and the driver is reading my address, my name, make, and model, Lexus RX, which would be hilarious if my dented truck wasn't staring back at me from my driveway. I point and say, "Real calm. That's not a Lexus, man." And he squints, follows my finger to the silver SUV parked across a fire hydrant like it owns the water supply, and his whole face changes in that slow moment you can feel across the street. Right then, her door swings open. Brianna with the HOA binder like it's the Constitution heels on concrete. Voice already at courtroom volume, not his. "Tow the truck. It's an eyesore." You know what I mean? Like I'm personally lowering property values with a socket wrench and a prayer. But the driver checks the Lexus. Nods once, hooks the winch, metal clanks, front wheels rise, and I lean on my fence, breathing in the sound of a cable doing God's work. I should have known that wasn't credits rolling, just the part where the episode title comes up. See, Brianna had been writing me up for months. 1/4-inch grass violations trash cans visible for exactly 12 minutes. My dog barking on a Saturday, he was at my sister's farm. All signed with that dramatic B at the bottom, like a brand you get for being inconvenient. Next morning, there's a crisp white envelope taped to my door, urgent, underlined hard enough to tear the paper, and inside is a $2,000 fine for him. Proper use of influence to redirect towing enforcement, which is a sentence that sounds like it got dressed in the dark. I carry it to Mr. Ortiz, one of the sane board members who runs HOA business from a spare room with a fan that never points where you need it, and he laughs. Through his nose, shakes his head, says she typed it herself, no vote, no authority, just theater. Then looks tired in that way. Folks look when they've been holding back a dam with their hands. That should have cooled her down. But Brianna's not a thermostat. She's a pilot, light always lit. And that afternoon, I find neon stickers slapped across my windshield like a preschool craft. Unapproved vehicle, improper parking, lowering property values. Even one on my mailbox as a treat. So I roll them into a sticky little ball, and when I spot her binder sitting pretty on her patio chair while she's perfecting her scowl in selfie mode, I walk over and press that gummy trophy dead center on the cover. She catches me turning away, gasps like I keyed her soul. That is vandalism, destruction of official HOA property. And I keep my voice easy. Correction, that's recycling, you littered. I returned, then I let my door close behind me and let silence win. Round 1. Escalation arrives in a reflective vest county code enforcement. A decent man, already apologizing for the inconvenience, we open the garage. Neat shelves, mower parked where a mower should rest. No oil slicks, no bootleg. Auto shop, just paint cans. And good intentions. He glances at the clipboard and says, "We've been getting a lot of complaints from your neighborhood. Same caller every time, doesn't say her name, doesn't have to. And he flags the address for nuisance reports and tells me to enjoy the afternoon I wasn't having. That night I tell myself she'll cool off. And the next day, a different tow company arrives with paperwork claiming I own. Wait for it, a Lexus RX deja vu, strolling in like it paid for tickets. But the scene plays out the same. The driver checks the plate, matches her hydrant-loving chariot. The hook goes on. Neighbors drift out with phones and folding chairs. She wails about harassment, while the Lexus does the walk of shame for a second time. Someone claps. Someone yells. There's a hydrant for a reason, and I'm thinking this is going to get weird before it gets quiet. By Saturday, she calls an emergency meeting in her backyard to restore order, which is code for restore. Me, Brianna, as queen. And I slip in late because I refuse to be her opening act. She's got a poster board with charts wobbling on a wind that isn't there. She talks standards and safety and value until she's blue in the binder. Then unveils the rule she wrote for me. Any vehicle not pre-approved by the HOA must live in a garage. Fines ping-ponging up towing authorized, and I raise a hand. Like a polite problem, quick question. Where's your Lexus right now? And the laughter hits so loud the sparrows take off. And Jacobs, the man has never met a filter he liked, yells probably learning hydrant etiquette downtown, and the whole meeting flips. Moms talk about midnight knocks, nurses talk about texts. They stopped answering. Someone plays the tow video on speaker, and people start crossing their names off her petition, like they just noticed the contract was written in crayon. If you've ever watched someone who used power as a prop, realize the prop is made of foam. You know the face. Shaky hands, muttering about smear campaigns, and traitors' charts sliding into the grass like they're ashamed. Cornered animals retreat. Cornered egos reload. And Tuesday morning I spot a clean slice through my driver's tire with a box cutter tossed nearby like a signature. I breathe, replace the tire. Don't call the cops, not yet. Because patience isn't weakness. Patience is bait. That afternoon, a shabby flatbed from 2 towns over rolls up, asking where I keep my unauthorized camping trailer. 2 houses down sits a little camper with a note taped to it that says, "Belongs to Evan." My name in someone else's handwriting. The tow guy checks the paperwork, looks at the growing crowd, decides this paycheck isn't worth a court date, and drives off. That night, I hear her pacing with a phone voice sharp enough to cut the humidity. He's making me look like a fool. I don't care what it takes. Get rid of that truck. And I lean back in my chair, thinking you're building your own trap. And I don't even have to bait it. The fake lien notice arrives next. Certified official clip art gavel. At the bottom dates wrong language. Sloppy fear forward and law light. And Mr. Ortiz calls a board session where 5 people show 3 of them. Voting members. Brianna comes late, like a villain. Who wants the entrance points at me? With that voice that tries to be a siren, he mocks authority, disrespects, standards. If we don't make an example of him, the whole neighborhood descends into quiescent. Ortiz shuts it down quick. You don't have the authority for fines or liens without a vote, and there was no vote. Linda, patient as a rainfall for months, finally sighs. People are tired. This week has been a circus, and you're the ringmaster, and Brianna's eyes go glass hard. If you're all too weak to act, I'll handle it myself, and she leaves like a storm that can't find the sky. Next morning, there's a bright yellow boot clamped to my truck with a laminated sign that says, "Property of HOA. Violation." And I crouch and run the model number on my phone. And yeah, it's a buy now. Special from a sketchy security website with reviews that read like they were written by bots on lunch break. I look up and she's across the street in a bathrobe, smiling like a cat with feathers in its teeth. I call the non-emergency line because documentation is insurance. The officer arrives and asks, "Did you place this?" She lifts her chin. The head of enforcement, I exercised my authority, and he says, "You don't have that authority. Remove it now." Be cited simple as good bread. She fumbles the key. Neighbors film. The clamp pops off group chat. Explodes into memes. Laws of Brianna stickers and hydrant jokes. And for a second it feels like relief. 2 days later, a Cash and Winks tow shows up again, and Brianna orders the driver to remove that junk immediately. I start recording before my feet hit the grass. Remind her she was removed from enforcement yesterday. She says this is private business and I have no right to interfere. Wait my property. The same officer rolls up like the deja vu. Ferry tells her unlicensed tow on private property is attempted theft. Writes a citation, and Tom from down the street calls out that the board voted her out. You're just a homeowner now, and the applause is honest, if not kind. I want it to be over so bad, I can taste it then at 2 a.m. My camera pings motion in the driveway. Grainy black and white shows pajamas. Bare feet a 5-gallon gas can, tilting toward my truck, a crowbar flashing at the cap. My heart thumps, but my hand is steady. I hit record and call the police. Blue lights slice the night. She starts screaming about being framed, about conspiracies, about how I planted her in her own driveway. But the footage is the kind of truth that doesn't care about feelings. Timestamp, movement, intent. All of it right there. They cuff her while neighbors gather in robes and slippers, mouths open, phones, up not to pile on, but to witness the moment a long noise finally stops. The aftermath comes quick. Attempted arson. Criminal mischief harassment. The board votes to bar her from any committee seat. Indefinitely, her Lexus gets repossessed, like the universe tried stand-up comedy. And Maple Ridge exhales kids on bikes again, ribs on porches. The group chat back to lost cats, and whose ladder went where. And Ortiz sits with me one evening and says you handled that better than most, and I tell him I didn't win a fight. I just refused to play it loud. I let the facts do the shouting. You know what I mean? Last time I see her, she's loading boxes into a rental truck. No binder, no sunglasses, just a tired person who finally ran out of mirrors. Our eyes meet. I give a small nod because I still believe in the habit of decency. She scowls and drives off, and the air feels lighter and heavier at the same time, like justice and sadness share a porch. So tell me this, where's the line between protecting a neighborhood and policing it? When does concern slide into control? Have you ever had a Brianna on your block? And what did you do when the clipboard landed at your door? Drop your take in the comments to call me out. If you think I should have acted sooner, tell me if the arrest felt like justice or just the final scene of a play that never should have had a stage. And if you've been underestimated the way I was, say, how you kept your side of the fence clean while the storm howled. Like and subscribe. If this hit home, and share it with someone who needs the reminder that staying calm isn't backing down. It's choosing the kind of strength you can live with.